Um, Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Asmadgurubhyo Namaha Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ श्रीमेधा दक्षिणामूर्तिस्वामिने नमः ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ Namaste once again everyone. So before we start, I just want to make a request. Some of you are used to it. Please mark your attendance in the chat box so that, first few classes, I would like to know who are regularly attending and who are finding it difficult. Okay. So please mark your attendance. Put your name. That's all is required. So first of all, let me wish you all a very happy Vijayadashami. And let us offer our prayers for the successful continuation of our spiritual journey, probably with more vigor, more commitment, and in the process, let us invoke the grace and blessings of Lord Dakshinamurti, Devi Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, all the Acharyas in the Parampara in general, and in particular Puja Swamiji and his disciples, which include Swami Paramathanandaji and Swami Sadatmanandaji, who have been my direct gurus, and start the study of Mundaka Upanishad or Mundakopanishad, offering our prayers and seeking their blessings for us to complete the study of this Upanishad successfully without any obstacles or impediments. May the Lord and Guru Parampara bless us all. That's a sincere prayer let us offer, because these Upanishad classes could take us, few months or even sometimes couple of years. So during that period, we must be able to successfully study the Upanishad and complete the course. That is what we have to pray for. Okay. So as we know, Upanishads are part of Veda. And this Upanishad, this Mundaka Upanishad, belongs to Atharva Veda or Atharvana Veda. Every Veda has got Upanishads. And this Veda is called Atharvana Veda because many of the mantras of this Upanishad, they are received by Atharva Rishi. So Mundaka Upanishad has a special place in the list of Upanishads because it is one of the 10 Upanishads upon which Shankaracharya has written a bhashyam or a commentary. So in his bhashyam, he introduces this as Atharvana Upanishad. And many of us know that in general, Veda is divided into two parts, Mantra Bhagaha or Samhita Bhagaha, and another is Brahmana Bhagaha. There are many types of divisions in Veda, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda, etc. And this is one type of division. So this Upanishad belongs to Mantra Bhaga. And as we have seen in earlier classes, Upanishad is one of the three main texts to be studied for getting the vision of Vedanta. What are the three texts? I'm sure all of you will be able to tell. Prasthanatrayam it is called. Prasthana means main text. Prastiyate anena iti prasthanam. The one with the help of which one proceeds with the pursuit of knowledge of Atma, the self. Prastiyate anena iti prasthanam. So Upanishad is called Shrauta Prasthan. Bhagavad Gita is called Smriti Prasthanam or Smarta Prasthanam, and Brahma Sutram is called Nyaya Prasthanam. Nyaya means logic or reasoning. So the Upanishad is Shruti Prasthanam, the main text in the form of Shruti or Veda. And Shruti Prasthanam is the main and most fundamental Prasthanam among the three. The other two, that is Smriti Prasthanam and Brahma Sutra, Nyaya Prasthanam, they are based upon Shruti Prasthanam only. And here, when we talk of Shruti Prasthanam, we are talking that in the form of Upanishad. And there are so many Upanishads are there. As I said, each Veda has got many Upanishads. There is a Upanishad called Muktiko Upanishad, which details the number of Upanishads belonging to each Veda. And that lists a total of 1180 Upanishads. Samaveda itself has got 1000 Upanishads. And this is told by Rama to Hanuman. All very interesting. If you go deep into it, so many stories, nice, interesting stories are there. And Rama also says that 108 of the 1180 Upanishads are the main ones. So a big discount is given. If we have to read 1180 Upanishads, you can imagine how many lives that we will require. So he reduces that 108 are the main ones. And the names of 108 are also given in this Muktiko Upanishad. And further, out of this 108 also, 10 are considered the most important Upanishads. And there is a shloka which describes these 10 Upanishads. Ishakena katha prashna munda mandukya tittirihi etareya cha chandoghyam brihadaranyakam tatha. This is said in, this is a mantra or shloka comes in Muktiko Upanishad. So these are the Ishavasya Upanishad, Kena Upanishad, Katha Upanishad, Prashna Upanishad. So like that, 10 Upanishads are listed. And all these 10 Upanishads, which are the important ones, Adi Shankara has written Bhashyam or commentary. Actually, the word Bhashyam is originally a commentary on sutras, like Brahma Sutras. And whoever writes a commentary or a Bhashyam is known as a Bhashyakara. The words in the sutras are explained in the Bhashyam Sutranusaribihi, in keeping with the meaning of the sutras. So whoever is the Bhashyakara, in his Bhashyam, he will explain the words of the sutra, because sutras will be very, very cryptic sentences. For example, Brahma Sutra starts with Atato Brahma Jignasa. That's all. What will you understand? Atato means thereafter is Brahma Jignasa, the quest for knowledge of Brahman. thereafter means whereafter. All those things the Brahma Sutra will not say. So a Bhashyakara will interpret that, and because of his wide knowledge, he will know what does it mean. Atha means what, the second atha means what. Atato, it is there, right? Atha, ataha. What is that meaning? So they will explain detailed way. That is called a Bhashya. And many times, because everything is in Sanskrit, many times certain words that he uses in Sanskrit also, he will give the meaning of that in the Bhashyam itself. So this type of commentary is called a Bhashyam. Ideally, Upanishad study should be based on Bhashyam. And in our context, when we say Bhashyam, we refer to the commentary written by Adi Shankara. And why Adi Shankara, we call it Bhashyam? Because Adi Shankara is also called Bhashyakara. Because he first wrote Bhashyam for Brahma Sutra. From that, he got the title Bhashyakara. And then he wrote all the commentaries on other Upanishads. And so those Upanishads also, even though strictly they are not Bhashyams, because Bhashyams, you must remember, the definition is commentary on sutras, not on Upanishads. Because Bhashyam can be written by anybody. There are Acharya has written a lot of Bhashyams. So here, initially, before we study Acharya's Bhashyam, etc. That is all required. That study is required for Mananam stage in Vedanta. Initially, we study with the help of Bhashyam of Shankaracharya. And the purpose of studying Bhashyam of Shankaracharya along with the main text is because through Bhashyam, we understand the sampradaya or methodology of teaching the Upanishad. So Bhashyakara, here in our case, Shankaracharya, presents the sampradaya or Upadesha. How this parampara has preserved the methodology of teaching, we can learn from the Bhashyam. And whoever has written the Bhashyam, he has learned from his guru, which guru has studied from his guru. So like that, the parampara goes on. We don't know when it began. Earlier, it was an oral tradition, but the credit goes to Shankaracharya to make it in written form. But this method can be followed, that is studying the Upanishad with Bhashyam, if one is exclusively pursuing Vedanta study, because it has got to be a very involved study and also demands a good grasp of Sanskrit language. Moreover, because the content of the text will be the mantras and the bhashya explanation, it could take a long time. And therefore, bhashyam study is more suitable if there are daily classes. Not only that, in Gurukulam, we used to have 2-3 classes in a day rather. And therefore, Bhashyam study is more suited for teaching in Gurukulams, ashram, etc., where the student will be exclusively studying Vedanta, Sanskrit, etc. So initially, I had planned, and I had actually announced it also to 1 or 2 students, Bhagavad Gita students, that I will teach the Upanishad along with Shankara Bhashyam. But then there was one issue. Learning with Bhashyam would require a good exposure to Sanskrit language on the part of the students. Since I was not sure, of course, I know that some of you who have registered have studied Sanskrit under me only. But they have been my Sanskrit students also. So for them, it may not be that much of a problem. But others may not be so familiar with Sanskrit language. Even though with attending, Vishnu Sahasramam classes, Bhagavad Gita classes, even Viveka Chudamani classes and all, I am sure that many of them or most of them would have been sufficiently exposed to the language. They may not know the language, but the Sanskrit will not be, when they hear Sanskrit, it will not be jarring in their ears. Therefore, initially, then, first I thought I will teach with Bhashyam. Then keeping all this in mind, I thought that I should teach only the Moolam text. Then what happens is Bhagavan's grace comes. Now one day I felt that when we have the benefit of Bhashyam of Shankaracharya for studying the Upanishad, and I have been blessed to study it from Swami Saratmananda, even Puja Swamiji, Dayanand Saraswati, and also, heard the talks of Swami Paramarthananda, etc., which is an opportunity which you rarely get outside the ashrams and gurukulams. I felt that we should study the Upanishad with the interpretation of Adi Shankara in his Bhashya. In fact, it is almost equivalent to Adi Shankara himself teaching us the Upanishad. I will be only a transmitter. I will just be whatever Adi Shankara has said in his Bhashyam as explanation of the mantras. I will just be reading that and then explaining to you word by word. And then what makes sense, putting in the context, of course, everything will be there. It will be embellished by what I have learned from my gurus. But the biggest thing is, here we have an opportunity to study the words of Shankaracharya, Adi Shankaracharya himself, and understand if he were there sitting before us and teaching, what he would have said and what we would have understood. Of course, there will be interpreter in between interpreting what he has said to you, so that those who are not familiar with, even with lot of familiarity with Sanskrit language, the Bhashyam is not very easy to follow. In the sense that the Shankaracharya, the vocabulary is so vast that many of the words we will not know the meaning, and the meanings will not be available in the dictionary also, rather. So we have to fall back upon the Guru Parampara only for interpretation of those words. And therefore, I felt that along with me, all you students also should feel blessed to hear from Adi Shankaracharya the teaching of this Upanishad. And therefore, I have now decided to teach the Upanishad with the help of Bhashyam of Adi Shankara, whom I will be referring to you quite often as Bhagavan Bhashyakara or just Bhashyakara. Of course, this does not actually increase the length of the course, because even otherwise, like you have seen in Bhagavad Gita and all, I take up one sloka and then go through most of the aspects of the sloka, rather. In fact, the sloka meaning is only a very small portion, but the context in which it is said, all those things, they are the more enriching content of the sloka. So similarly, here also, my endeavor will be to make the study less complicated and more enriching. Therefore, our learning will be based on Bhashyam as expounded by Swami Paramarthananda ji and Swami Sadatmananda ji, who taught us this Upanishad in the Gurukulam. Of course, both the Swamis would have followed what Puja Swamiji Dayanand Saraswati, their Guru, would have taught. So we have the benefit of the Guru Parampara here. So that is what I wanted to say, because if some of you, as we go through, find it difficult to follow the Bhashyam, which I personally feel should not be an issue. But if there is any difficulty, if you want to drop out of the class also, I will have no problem because you are finding it very difficult. But as I said, that should not be the case. I will try to make it as simple as possible with the Bhashya. So now a few words about the Upanishad itself. This Upanishad has got 3 chapters, each of which is called a Mundaka. And each Mundaka has got 2 khandas. So it has got total of 6 khandas and total 65 mantras. The reason why this Upanishad is called Mundaka is not given by Shankaracharya. But then there are other commentators who give the explanation. The word Mundaka has 2 meanings. One means the head. So this Upanishad is one of the main Upanishads of Atharvana Veda. Therefore, it is called Mundaka. Another meaning of Mundaka is shaven head, Napita Shirah. And the shaving of the head formally indicates sannyasa. And therefore, this Upanishad is to be studied with the spirit of sannyasa, which Bhashyakara himself will say in his introductory Bhashya. And shaving of the head is symbolic of giving up our raga dvesha, because our hair stands for abhimana, pride, isn't it? Whenever we have to go out of the house, we must have taken bath, everything, combed our hair, dressed up, everything. Before we step off the house, what we do, most of us, we will go to the mirror and see whether our hair is properly set and all that. Isn't it? Ladies especially, I have observed it, invariably they do it. So the hair is a matter of pride for us. And that is why, people want to hide their baldness and all that by putting wig and things like that. So shaving the head implies giving up one's obsessions, prejudices, and ragadveshas. And therefore also this Upanishad is called Mundaka Upanishad. And there is another reason is also there. And towards the end of this Upanishad, one Shirovrata will be talked about, where fire is to be kept on the head. Since this Upanishad is to be studied by one who has done Shirovrata, and therefore also it is called Mundaka Upanishad. And the spirit of Shirovrata is alertness. When you are holding fire on your head, one has to be very careful. One has to be very alert. In fact, one Swamiji says that one has to keep one's hand in the head and study this Upanishad. It means that one needs to be very alert in studying the Upanishad. Therefore, this alertness is also indicated by the word Mundaka. So I will now briefly talk about how we will be proceeding. First, we will chant the Shanti Pata of this Upanishad, and we will see its meaning also. After that, we will discuss an important aspect of the Upanishad studies, which is called Pramana Vichara, Prameya Vichara, and Prayojana Vichara. In our Hindu tradition, any system which provides a comprehensive and structured teaching in the field of spirituality is called a darshanam. Darshanam is a technical name. And the founder of the darshanam who provides the teaching is called a darshanika or darshana acharya. And the system of teaching is called darshana. And in our Hindu tradition, there are several such darshana. Prominently, we enumerate 12 darshanam. Dvadasha darshanani. And among these 12 darshanams, what we study generally is called Vedanta Darshanam. And the founder of Vedanta Darshanam is generally said to be Vyasacharya. Through his famous Brahma Sutra, Vyasacharya presented Vedanta Darshanam. It has got about 555 sutras. So even though Vyasacharya is generally said to be the founder, in the tradition, we make a small correction. Because even before Vyasacharya, Vedanta Darshanam did exist. Therefore, Vyasacharya cannot be exactly said to be the founder. But he can be said to be a codifier of Vedanta Darshanam through his Brahma Sutra. And therefore, the word Darshanam can be roughly translated as the vision of the founder, the vision or the teaching of the Darshanika. And as a convention, generally, all darshanams will have to declare their stand on three important topics. Not only that they have to declare their stand, they have to justify it also. The Vedanta Darshanam also has to declare these three important topics and justify why such a darshanam is valid and required. And these three topics are Pramanam, what is the source of knowledge or means of knowledge on which the darshanam is based. Not only that they have to declare their stand on the Pramanam, they have to justify the stand also. Therefore, this Pramana Vichara itself is a very big topic by itself. Pramanam, as I said, means sources of knowledge. From where are you deriving all this? That is the question. Second topic is Prameya Vichara. What is the subject matter of their darshana? What are the things, the subject or contents of this darshana? So sources of knowledge, contents of knowledge. Do you see the difference? One is source of knowledge from where you have got. Then what is the content of this knowledge? Pramana Vichara and Prameya Vichara. So this is the second major topic of all darshanams. We have to, or will the darshanams will have to declare their stand on. The third major topic is called Prayojana Vichara, which is very natural because when I study a Upanishad, a particular darshanam I am following, I should know what is that I am going to get. By taking to their darshanam, what will I get? What is the purpose of this darshanam? What is the benefit that the darshanikas visualize for the follower of the darshanams? Because without benefit, nobody will embark on any such thing, isn't it? Prayojanam anuddishya na mandopi pravartate, it is said. Even a dull-witted person will not pursue anything without a purpose. So, prayojanam is the third important aspect which all darshanams will have to disclose. Therefore, what are the three themes or topics? Pramana Vichara, Prameya Vichara, Prayojana Vichara. The three P's every darshanam has to disclose. And each one, mind you, is a huge topics and books are written on them. And I intend to present the Vedanta Darshanam stand, although very briefly, with regard to these three topics. Then only when we study the Upanishad, we will have a proper perspective in absorbing the teaching. And we will also deal with these topics to give us a good perspective of the overall teaching methodology also. So first we will study the Shanti Pata, then all these three, this Pramana, Prameya and Prayojana Vicharas. Then we will study the introductory comments made by Adi Shankara in his Bhashya. Usually, he starts all his bhashyams with an introductory bhashyam, which is called by different names. It is called Upodghata bhashyam, Avatarika, or Sangati bhashyam, etc. These introductory comments help us to understand certain aspects of the Upanishads in general and the context in which the Bhashyakara has written the commentary for this particular Upanishad. Of course, since it is contextual, the subject matter covered in these introductory bhashyams, they are not uniform. So, after studying this Sangati bhashyam, we will go to the Upanishad mantras and their explanation. And before closing, a few words on housekeeping. The Zoom links for the classes will be sent a day before the respective classes. Okay. You can use the link to log in. And I would recommend the students to log in at least 5 minutes before the start of the class, because sometimes the internet may not be working and things like that, and all, so that you are sure that to be present in the class. Classes will begin sharp at 7 p.m. and will be for 1 hour duration. Secondly, all classes will be recorded and the recordings will be made available to the students through a YouTube link after the class. And these recordings can be used for purpose of revising the lesson. You can download this and save it in your gadgets so that anytime you want, you can use it. You can go through it. Because even though I will be uploading to the YouTube people have got a system where after some time, the old uploads are removed. Sometimes they are there or they are not removed, but they are put in some other place where you cannot easily access it. You know how to search, then you will get it. So if you download it immediately, then you can have your own library of these recordings. Then the next point is I have created 2 WhatsApp groups called Mundaka Upanishad Study Group and Mundaka Upanishad Ekalavya Group. Because some students, because the classes are going to be held on Monday and Thursday weekdays, some students have expressed their inability to attend the classes on weekdays due to their other commitments and have requested to make available the recordings of the classes. And these are all my students who have been there with me right from, I don't know, Tattva Bodha classes, some of them joined in Vishnu Sahasranamam and all. So for such students, I have created this Mundaka Upanishad Ekalavya group. Ekalavya name I chose because remote learning without the presence of the Guru. Of course, through the recordings. And the recordings of the classes will be shared in that group also, apart from sharing them on the main study group. And fourthly, I expect the students in the study group to be regular in attendance. Because Vedanta itself is a very, very specialized subject. Learning Vedanta, teaching Vedanta is not an easy thing. It takes a lot of effort on everybody's part to understand the mantras, understand the commentaries, then explain, then learn everything. So unless there is a regularity, a seriousness, a commitment that this is the path I have chosen. My chosen path is going to lead me to moksha. That is what I want. I want to become a Jivan Mukta in this life itself. That goal should be very clear. Your goal should not be, I don't have anything better to do on Mondays and Thursdays, so I will attend Mundaka Upanishad class. That is something you will not get any blessing because of that. If you have that kind of an attitude, I can assure you that the powers that are, the cosmic powers will create obstacles for you from continuing this course. It requires a tremendous amount of commitment. That's why we went to the Gurukulam and stayed there for 3.5 years and studied this. That is the kind of commitment that is required. A person living in a big 4-bedroom house with car and things like that and all, going and staying for 3.5 years in a 10 by 10 bedroom, 10 by 10 room, not bedroom, with one table, one chair, and one single cot with a mattress, with one fan, no AC, nothing. It requires, unless the commitment is there, you will not tolerate all these kind of things. Say, oh, what the hell I am doing? I am coming. Am I mad or what? To leave such a wonderful, comfortable life and come and study here. So that kind of a commitment is required. So I will be monitoring, at least in the first few classes, I will be monitoring the attendance of the students. Initial stages, I will get back to them, find out whether there is any genuine difficulty for them to attend. Of course, I am not saying that 100% attendance should be there. There can be circumstances where a student will have something else to do on a particular day. More important thing. Because we are all in worldly life. We are all samsaris in samsara. So there could be other commitments. But that commitment should be really worthwhile. Just because somebody is visiting your house or you have to visit somebody's house, which cannot be, unless you cannot reschedule it, then I expect students to attend the classes. So only if it is totally unavoidable, you can miss the class. Otherwise, and even when you miss the class, when the class video is circulated, I would expect that before the next class, the student goes through the video so that there is no gap between what has been taught and what is being taught in the last class and this class. And second important point is, if any student is unable to attend the class, I would expect the student to inform me in advance through a WhatsApp message. And it is not that every time you miss, you send a WhatsApp message. That is not the purpose of this. If I find that any student is not able to be regular in attendance, then there are two options. Either I will request the student to withdraw or move the student to a Ekalavya group so that he or she continues to benefit of the class recordings. And last point, there will be a satsang session after each class. I urge the students to take advantage of this session to raise doubts, questions, and get them answered. And students are advised to raise only questions relating to the subject matter of teaching and not any random topic. Because it may be important for you, but not for the other students who will be in the satsang. So if you have got anything unrelated to the subject matter, you can call me or send me a message separately, and I will, to the best extent possible, to the best of my ability, I will try to clarify that doubt. Okay. So with those words, I will close this inaugural session. I wanted to inaugurate it today because it's Vijayadashami, a very auspicious day. And we will commence the teaching on Monday at 7 p.m. India time. And once again, a very happy Navaratri, Saraswati Puja, and Vijayadashami to all of you. I will close with the prayers.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Hari Om. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Guruji. Thank you. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram, Guruji.
Hari Om, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Guruji. Thank you.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Om. Pranam.
Pranam.
Thanks.
Hari Ji. Thank you.
Guruji, sorry, one small thing, clarification. Does Bhagavad Gita classes continue to be on Saturdays, or is it being
Friday,
shifted
from next week, it will be Friday 7 to 8.
next Friday? Okay. So next Saturday, there's no class
No
instead.
class. Saturday,
Okay.
Sunday, I have freed myself.
Okay.
to be
Thank you very much.
to escort my wife around.
Very important.
It is
You are
also,
not only,
Because
you
I
are not
realized that this is costing me a lot. Where students, if they have got some commitment, they can send me a message and absent themselves. I cannot do that. So then I thought that my only solution is to move it to another day, which is convenient for everybody, for at least most of them.
it is true for us.
No,
For us,
you are
for,
not only.
for us also it is true.
Yeah,
Saturday
yeah,
is,
yeah, exactly. So maybe, indirectly everybody is benefiting because of this.
yes.
Thank you very much, Guruji. Namaskaram.
I will send you the link, and the announcement will come for next Friday, Gita classes.
Thank you.
Hari Om. Thank you.
Guruji, is there a possibility of preponing the class by 3 hours? Because I'm listening from US
Oh,
and I'm working. So so this is running into my working hours,
I can
especially
understand
Mondays and Thursdays. Yeah.
that. But see, I would do that if it is convenient for everybody. So normally what this thing is, most of the students, bulk of the students are from India, right? And some of them are working also. They got their own businesses to manage, or they are still having some consultants, things like that and
Yes.
all. And that is why I made it 7 to 8 also, because at least by 7 o'clock, I hope, if they are not workaholic, they will come home. So that's why I made it 7 to 8. Changing these timings will be very difficult. Otherwise,
Understood.
I will have to have a separate session for only US students. There are not many. So let us see. If you are not able to attend the classes, I think you are registered in the
Yeah, Ekalavya.
Yeah, so you get the recording. So you can listen to it
Yeah.
every day after you come back from office and things like that. You can listen to it that day or next day. Before the next class, you listen to it so that continuity is there. Okay.
Sure. Okay.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Yes, Hariji, what is your question?
Hari Om Guruji.
Hari Om.
Guruji, as you know that I may not be able to attend to the Bhagavad Gita class, but I will be an Ekalavya student for Bhagavad Gita on Fridays.
That's what I said. Bhagavad Gita, I'm going to retain all the students there itself, so that they will. Only problem is you will also get the link for the classes. In case by chance you are able to attend, you can attend. Otherwise, you will get the this recording, so you can continue.
Now, my question is for Bhagavad Gita, even when we listen to the recording, and if we have doubts to be clarified, how do you
send me? You have to talk to me or send me a message. Or you have to only when you have got doubt, you attend the class. So that this week's doubt, next week also you can ask. So no problem. If you have to do something, we'll have to find a way for that. The best way is you send me a message that I've got this doubt and can you clarify? I'll clarify it. You can call me up. I can clarify on phone. No problem.
Okay.
That can be done. Not an issue.
I'm sorry. On Saturday at that time, I'm on Friday. During that time, I have been attending another class.
So that's why I put you in Ekalavya Group. So you have mentioned to me. So that is okay, not a problem, because everyone has got commitments. If just because I'm starting a class, I cannot expect everybody to drop their commitments and come to my classes, and then that is okay, perfectly okay. Any other question, doubt, comment?
Thank you. Namaskaram.
Namaskaram. Thank you very much. I will send you tomorrow. You will get the Monday class
Thank you, Guruji.
announcements. Thank you.
Hari Om.
Happy Dashra.
Happy Dashara once
Happy.
again to all of you. Hari Om.
Hari.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I hope everybody has marked their attendance. If they are not marked, then you will get a message so that you can say whether you attended or forgot to mark. Okay. Hari Om. Thank you.
Okay. Hari Om.